Next on 3, Newshub live at 6 with Mike McRoberts and Hilary Barry.
Kia ora, good evening and welcome to the very first edition of Newshub Live at 6. A high-ranking customs officer has told us that 90% of illegal drugs arriving at the border are getting through.
The whistleblower says it's estimated only 1 in 10 packages carrying drugs are stopped. Michael Mora has more from him and the response from Customs Management.
We've agreed not to reveal his identity, but this customs officer has been protecting our borders for more than a decade. And he says a lack of staff and poor morale is causing serious problems.
I think New Zealanders should be worried, if not for your personal safety, well then for the safety of the country.
Worried because of what's flooding into the country. Records show 891 kilos of chemicals used to make pea were intercepted in 2015. That's well up on 24.
More on customs tomorrow. He'll take a closer look at claims there are problems in how New Zealand gathers intelligence on people coming into the country.
For the first time in 17 years, the government's muscled into a local planning appeal. Residents of Three Kings in Auckland are battling New Zealand's largest construction company over the future of a quarry. But now the government's announced it'll join legal proceedings to support Fletcher's housing development. Sophie Lowry reports.
There's a gaping divide between the two sides fighting over this huge hole in Three Kings.
Today we've released a special Newshub Read Research poll on the flag debate. And political editor Patrick Gower joins us now for an in-depth look at the numbers.
Yes, and well, the first number that we cannot ignore is bad news for John Key. And here it is, 61% of voters say no, don't change the flag. Just 30% do want to change. Now, let's break down these numbers now, because even by party preference, John Key's own national voters do not want to change. Remember, they're more conservative, but he hasn't been able to bring them around for the idea. As for Labor, more likely to change, but 73% of them say no, no change. Green voters, now they are not fans of the Union Jack or of the Queen, but 60% of them want to keep the current flag, and New Zealand First, no surprise here, want to keep the current flag too. People are clearly divided along political lines, anti-John Key, anti the flag change. Now, if we look at the Kyle Lockwood design, well, 60% of people told us that it was no good or could be better, while 35% said, hey, we like it. And it's numbers like these that have got John Key prepared to try almost anything to gain support for a new flag.
So, Patrick, the numbers are closing, but John Key still can't get his own people over the line.
Yeah, and the people just don't seem to like the alternative.
Yeah, you've got it, guys. It's a powerful double whammy, isn't it? And he really has come up against the old classic Kiwi yeah, nah attitude. And there isn't long until we'll all be getting our voting packs, just over a month, 3-week voting period. Then on Good Friday and Easter, we'll know the result. And it doesn't look right now like it's going to be a good Friday for John Key. What can he do from here to get it across the line? Not a lot. He's been injecting himself into the debate for about 2 years now. Hasn't exactly been helping in some senses, but he does need to do a little bit more by the looks of things than put that flag up on his gate.
Patrick, thank you. Thousands of Australians are in the news ahead why Labor's free tertiary education plan has universities worried. Free health care for Kiwis in the UK could be coming to an end.
And have you ever been wrongly ticketed by parking wardens?
All the time.
We reveal the staggering number of times fines are cancelled.
Un-PC, rude and downright racist.
Leave them the way they are.
Tonight on Story, the place names in New Zealand that you simply won't believe. Plus,
I've brought Duncan to New Plymouth's Festival of Lights.
You picked a good night for it.
It is going well so far.
Story returns at 7.
Universities say Labor's free tertiary education plan might bring in more students, but it's not all good news.
Universities New Zealand says if institutions aren't given more money to cope with the influx, then
It says anyone who believes they've been wrongly ticketed should dispute it by writing into Auckland Transport or filling out its online form. Wilhelmina Shrimpton, Newshub.
Still to come on Newshub, air travel's never been easier or cheaper, so how low can prices go? Plus, Christchurch cafes are getting flack for refusing to serve trim milk. Can you really taste the difference? You can.
Sports, yes, I can. Thank you very much. Sports coming up too, and Hamish, those Black Caps focused on the big summer series.
Aussies are in town. I cannot wait with the first one-dayer on Wednesday since a certain World Cup final. Remember that? Also ahead at around 20 to 7, other Roosters trying to lure Sonny Bill back to Sydney. And is it mission impossible? How does Tana Umanga plan to fix those broken blues?
Un-PC, rude and downright racist.
Leave them the way they are.
Tonight on Story, the place names in New Zealand that you simply won't believe. Plus,
I've brought Duncan to New Plymouth's Festival of Lights.
You picked a good night for it.
It is going well so far.
Story returns at 7.
Here's a recap of our top story tonight. A high-ranking customs officer has told Newshub that 90% of illegal drugs arriving at the border are getting through. The whistleblower says it's estimated only 1 in 10 packages carrying drugs is stopped. Customs bosses say they're unaware of such an estimate.
It's getting cheaper and easier to fly around New Zealand.
Hilary.
Jacob, thanks for that. Right, Hamish is here with sport, and I hope those Aussies are expecting a tough time with the Black Caps.
Well, they've been copying it from our local kids in the nets, so it's certainly shaping up to be an entertaining Chapel Hadley series. But will the Black Caps be right for the big matchup of the summer? Also ahead, what does Sir Gordon Titchens credit as the biggest positive from his team's win in the capital? We chat to Tana Umanga ahead of his first season in charge of the Blues. And a record-equalling title in Melbourne for the sensational Mr. Djokovic.
Here's what I know. Well, let me answer you. Do what Mr. Wishart did. Sit down and have a look at the facts and don't sit there and pontificate because you are wrong. That is something you haven't done. So you're now...
I love this. Paul Henry, 6 a.m. weekdays.
More into life with Suzuki S-Cross and Newshub Sport.
Welcome back. It's time for the summer of cricket's main event. The Black Caps' 3-match Chapel Hadley one-day series against Australia gets underway Wednesday, with the old rivals set to go head-to-head in the 50-over format for the first time since that World Cup final. As Andrew Gordy reports, the hostilities have already begun.
When you have to wear a helmet while walking...
And a few more millions as well.
Yeah, exactly. Love him. Thanks so much, Hamish. Well, our new look weather's up next, and Ingrid, it's bigger and brighter.
Bigger, brighter and better. We can't improve the actual weather you experience, still working on that part, but it will certainly look better, and we've expanded our extended forecast so it's easier for you to plan the busy back-to-school week. I will have the full forecast straight after the break. By Friday, and that is your very first Newshub weather. Hope you enjoyed it.
We did indeed. Thank you so much, Ingrid, and thank you too for joining us for the very first bulletin of Newshub Live at 6.
Now, along with our new name and our new set, we've got a new app downloaded and you can stay up to date. Newshub Late Team's here at 11 o'clock tonight. I'm Mike McRoberts.
And I'm Hilary Barry. And now Duncan and Heather are here with today's story.
Right, good evening, everybody. Great to have your company. Welcome along to Story for 2016. It's good to be back. You've had a massive holiday, haven't you?
You've had the same length of a holiday, Duncan, which, to be fair, is actually quite long, 6 weeks.
Teachers
have a longer
Teachers
holiday
get a really
than
long
us,
holiday.
but they're the only people. Hey, we hope you have had a great break too. Enjoy our new set. Let's crack on into the program. So on the program tonight, the New Zealand place names that are so rude, some people don't even want to say them. Do they need to change?
Plus, who are all these crazy hipsters? We hang with the super cool people at New Zealand's most fashionable festival.
And can I surprise Duncan with the beautiful side of one Kiwi town he's never seen?
All right, thanks so much for joining us. It is great to have you with us tonight. Also, a bit later on,